While we're looking at if P then Q, let's look at some statements in English that mean the same thing. So if we just do if P then Q, we could say if a person is a teenager, then that person is younger than 20 years old. That's kind of the straightforward way, if P then Q. They may say Q if P. A person is younger than 20 years old if that person is a teenager. See how they left out the then and they switched it around? Or they may say P is sufficient for Q. Being a teenager is sufficient for being younger than 20 years old. That's the same thing as saying if a person's a teenager, then the person's younger than 20 years old. It's just a different way to say it. The next one, Q is necessary for P. So they start with the second half and they say being younger than 20 years old is necessary for being a teenager. You could turn that around and say if a person is a teenager, then the person is younger than 20 years old. It means the same thing. You could say P if only Q, a person is a teenager, only if that person is younger than 20 years old. And you could say only if Q, comma P, only if a person is younger than 20 years old, is that person a teenager. So we're going to use that on the next example. On example 4, P is we suffer huge deficits, budget deficits. Q is we eliminate wasteful spending. They want us to write a compound statement in symbolic form. Okay, eliminating wasteful spending is necessary for not suffering huge budget deficits. Okay, this is necessary for. That's the key. I need to go back. Let me do the whole entire thing there, sorry. I need to go back and figure out what order these in. Is this the P or is this the P? We've got to go back and figure it out. Let's see. Is necessary for is this one. The Q comes first, the P comes second. So this would be my Q, okay? So eliminating wasteful spending would be my Q. And then not suffering a huge budget deficit. Well, this is we suffer. Not suffering would be not P. So we want to do this as an if-then statement. So when we turn it around, we would say, if we do not suffer huge budget deficits, then we eliminate wasteful spending. And that would be the exact same thing.